The year was 2020. The world outside was silent, cities ghosted by fear. Layla Torres hadn't touched another human in months. She told herself she was fine. She had her art, her laptop, and her solitude. But the silence had a weight, pressing against her ribs, whispering at night. She was a painter. Colors, movement, form. But lately her canvases had turned gray. Her inspiration had vanished, replaced by sleepless nights, glassy eyes, and the endless echo of her own thoughts. Sometimes in that heavy stillness she swore she heard breathing that wasn't hers. One afternoon, between the endless blur of lockdown days, a package arrived at her door. She didn't remember ordering it. The box was wrapped in brown paper, marked with an address she couldn't read. Inside, wrapped in coarse linen and dust, was a mirror, tall, arched, and framed in black wood carved with patterns that curled like smoke. It was beautiful, ancient, and unsettling. On the inside edge, almost hidden, ran a line of tiny script, Arabic perhaps, faint as if carved with a pin. Layla ran her fingers over it, tracing its grooves. She thought she felt warmth beneath her fingertips, though the glass was cold. That night she placed it in her bedroom. She stood before it for a while, smiling at her own reflection, the hollow eyes, the messy bun, the woman who looked both familiar and strange. She laughed softly and went to bed. It began the next night. She woke at 3:11 a.m. No sound, no dream. But something made her turn toward the mirror. There, in the half-dark, she saw a figure standing behind her reflection. A woman. Beautiful, pale, motionless. Her eyes glowed faintly, as if lit from within. Layla blinked, heart hammering. The image was gone. She blamed the light, the wine, and the loneliness. But every night afterward, the woman returned. Sometimes near, sometimes far. Always silent, always watching. Then the dreams began. In them, the woman in the mirror stood closer. Layla could feel her presence, the warmth of breath on her neck, the faint scent of jasmine. When she reached out, the reflection touched her back. Their fingers met through glass. Layla began to crave the night, to crave the mirror. The woman's face was flawless, lips curved like a secret. When Layla dreamed, those lips touched hers, soft, electric. She woke trembling, both terrified and aching for more. Her paintings changed. No longer gray, they pulsed with sensual color, curves of bodies, reflections, eyes that watched. She felt alive again, feverish with creativity and desire. One evening, she noticed something strange. When she turned her head, her reflection moved a moment later, as though it hesitated. When she smiled, the mirror's smile lingered too long. She should have covered the mirror then. She should have thrown it out, but she didn't. She was too drawn to it, too drawn to her. Days blurred into nights. Layla barely ate. She spoke to the mirror softly, whispering confessions she'd never told anyone. Sometimes she thought she heard whispers back, a voice like silk through smoke. Layla. Then came the bruises. One morning, she woke with red marks around her wrists, as if someone had held her down. Her pulse raced. She told herself she'd slept wrong, or perhaps she'd bruised herself somehow. But the marks deepened, purple and aching. That night, she dreamt again. Except this time, it didn't feel like a dream. The mirror glowed faintly in the darkness. The woman within it stepped forward, her body luminous, her eyes black as void. Layla couldn't move. The woman cupped her face tenderly, leaned in, and kissed her. Layla felt the heat, the hunger, and the longing she'd buried for months. But beneath it, something else stirred, a coldness that slid into her chest like smoke. She tried to pull back. The reflection's hands tightened. The woman's beauty twisted. Her mouth opened too wide, revealing teeth too sharp. Her eyes bled into darkness. Layla screamed, but no sound came. The glass vibrated with a low hum, like something ancient awakening. Then silence. When she opened her eyes again, dawn had come. The mirror was still. The room was cold. On the floor before it lay a small piece of broken glass, sharp and thin as a blade. When she picked it up, she saw herself reflected in it. But her reflection smiled. She did not. That morning she covered the mirror with a white sheet. She told herself it was over, that she'd imagined it all. But the smell of jasmine still lingered, and at night she could feel the pull again. The whisper behind the glass calling her name, begging, coaxing. Let me out, Layla. Let me love you again. Sleep deserted her. Her skin felt warm like a fever. Her heart ached with longing she couldn't explain. One final night she couldn't resist. The moon was hidden behind clouds, the city silent. She pulled the sheet from the mirror and stood naked before it, trembling. The glass rippled like disturbed water. She touched it. It touched her back. Cold fire spread up her arm. The reflection smiled. Her smile, but different. Layla's lips parted. The glass gave way. And then, nothing. Morning light spilled across the room. The mirror stood silent once more. Layla's apartment was empty. But if someone were to walk by the window, they might see movement inside, a shadow, pacing slowly before a covered mirror. Sometimes, late at night, the sheet slips away. The glass reveals two women, one standing in the room, the other trapped behind it, smiling. And if you listen closely, just before the dawn, you might hear a whisper that sounds almost like her voice. Layla,